and legs that are going to be displayed all over the place, and you can see and look at them and look at the muscles that are on a model to help you figure out what's doing what motion. Also, there's muscle stimulation. Have you ever had that done? Where they put those little pads on you and they go, right? And your muscles like all contract. Yeah. So there's other way. That's another way you can do it. You can have like an electrical stimulation onto a muscle, and it will contract, and you can see, well, oh, what just happened? There's different ways that they do this too in research. They're called pins. Have you ever had those? Have you ever seen those needles? They stick needles in the muscle, and they stimulate it, and your leg does something. Or they stick a needle in there, and they ask you to walk, and it picks up the information. And they're called bone pins, and they're just pins, and they're not as thin as like acupuncture pins that are nice and don't hurt. These things are a little bit bigger, and they stick them in you in different places for muscles that are really, really deep that you can't feel, and you can't stimulate with EMG because all of that's superficial. If you want to go deeper and figure out what your internal muscles are doing, they have needles, and they stick them in, and they can go all the way down to the bone, and they pick up information. And this doesn't happen very often in undergraduate work because it's very painful, obviously, walking around with needles sticking in you. But if you go into graduate work and you need money, you can volunteer for one of these studies.
Oh yeah, volunteer. Yeah.
It is. When you're really hungry, sometimes you'll do anything for money, right? So it happens in a little bit more of the graduate work and PhD and institutions, the larger institutions for master's work. They have this technology, and you have the opportunity to volunteer. You're paying to do this for money. Yeah, so those are different ways that we figure out. Also, the one you're probably most familiar with is EMG. Muscles give off electrical stimulation when they contract, and that's picked up with these receptors of EMG, and it picks up the frequency and the duration. And you'll do that in XPhys, or in XPhys if you've already done it, or in it now. You get to work with this. And what this is alluding to, these muscular considerations, is we go back to what the point of kind of this class is, which is the kinematic analysis, and being able to look at any motion and be able to break it down kinematically. And we started off with events and phases, and you had to break it down in that manner. And then you had to tell me, okay, what are the joints that are primarily involved? And then you had to go into, okay, what's the purpose of this motion? What is the mechanical principles of this motion? And then you had to tell me, is it flexing? Is it extending? And then you had to tell me what muscle group is doing it and what's the contraction type. So that's kind of where we are from chapter 1 of Hamilton and Lutkin's, that chapter that's posted on iLearn. It was the breakdown of the kinematic analysis, and there was this A through F. We're kind of at C.